Greenhouse is full. The porches are full. And the house is full. Everywhere I turn, there's a plant. That's a good thing. Hey y'all, it's Anna at Mimsy's Garden. You can call me Mims, just like my friends. Today I wanted to talk to you about my secondary garden spot. This is the extension from the main garden that I put in last year, and I wanted to show you the things that I changed up. This was the main garden last year. Another one right there. I've already straightened up some of the tomatoes again, but the line right there was back laid completely on the ground a while ago. This was what I had done in tomatoes and peppers and things like that last year. And of course the hailstorms and the wind and rain and all that took them out early. It just keeps happening over and over again. Straight line winds, rain, hail. It's not having any mercy on my garden. Look how thick that branch is. That's incredible. Got a couple pepper plants knocked out this time. A couple more. There's one. COVID was a pain. So I did get a lot of tomatoes that I had to ripen in the house. But last year's gardening season was not that great. However, this year things are going well. I've got tender greens planted here that are going to need thinned. My potatoes are already up. I've healed them once and they're coming out again. The second row, some of them have come up, some of them haven't. They were buried a little deeper probably. And then I've got a little spinach and squashes and spaghetti squash, things like that. But what I wanted to talk about today was the extension. So last year, this was just a plain patch of garden. I had tilled it up, put a few amendments in it, and then planted my squash and zucchini and some peas, I believe, zipper peas and purple hull peas. Not much in here. Some hot peppers were over here. All the cool peppers and tomatoes were on the front side. It wasn't very productive. The hot peppers did well. Squash, zucchini did moderate. Peas did moderate. They were later in the season because of us having COVID. Like I said, last year's garden season was horrendous. But let's talk about this soil a little bit. So this year, I came in and I put amendments in. I put azomite, I put gypsum, I put bone meal, cotton meal seed, and even some triple 13. And tilled all that in and let it sit for a couple weeks. And then I came back through with my double wheel hoe from HOSS that I love. I got that for Christmas, woohoo! Y'all see on my black fabric I pulled back. I also, after I got all that and made some furrows, laid drip tape. So this is the main line tubing. I get this from HOSS Tools and the drip tape. And what I did was made furrows each line and then added my drip tape and covered it up and made little rows, mounds, not real deep, because this is going to be tomatoes and peppers and maybe some green beans, a couple eggplant, and I have a few corn sprouts I want to try. Not sure about all that yet. There's Gus, he's checking things out, and then Roxy's over there, and then of course Cash Kitty, y'all know Cash. So this is the intention, and as I'm planting in each hole, I'm filling it full of worm castings. When I do my seedlings, I use a Pro Mix from Berger or Berger, not sure how you pronounce that. get that seed starting mix that I like out of, it's somewhere, I'm thinking it's Vermont, but maybe it's somewhere else. Morgan County Seeds. It's the only place that I've found that carries that in 4 cubic foot bags and will ship it. The shipping costs more than the dirt for sure. So, but I do get 3 or 4 bags of those a year because of the business. And what I do is I add a lot of worm castings in there, because I'll put the seed starter in a bucket and I'll moisten it good, and then add that worm casting to dry it out some. So it's like a crumbly brownie mix. It's great. And so I start my seeds in that. And then when I put them in the ground, I put a good handful to a cup of worm castings per hole. And then after I get everything planted, I put cottonseed meal like a mulch. And then I'm gonna come back after I get this garden planted and recover with the black fabric. This time I'm not burning holes. I'm not laying the fabric first. I'm going to butt it up to the plant so that I don't burn holes, because seems like that just didn't, burning ahead of time didn't work out real good. And the reason being is it was harder to get extra amendments in, which now I have the drip irrigation, so I'll run it through there, so that's not a problem. But it will last longer if it doesn't have the holes. Plus, then I can change the planting style. Like this year, I changed the row direction, so it's more vertical instead of horizontal, and that allows for rotation too. So that was one thing that I did not like about burning holes into all the fabric. So y'all see that carport frame? That's going to be a step-up greenhouse until after gardening season and I finish saving my money. Then I'm putting that commercial greenhouse as the plan. That's part of the 5-year plan, is to put the commercial greenhouse most of over this open planting space. My gardens together is 88 foot long and 25 foot wide. So I'd like to do a 20 by 60 or 65 foot commercial style greenhouse, or a high tunnel. And that way I can grow indoors also and have better space for my seedlings, because as y'all saw at the beginning of the video, I'm way outgrowing my space. And I think I could do a lot better if I had a high tunnel to work in. It would be a lot neater too. I tracked a lot of dirt in the house. Something that I did not do this year that I normally would do is a soil test. And the reason I did not do that is our extension office is closed. They meet certain days, and with Mom being here, I just can't go when they're there. So I'm winging it, and I don't recommend that at all. We're gonna see how it goes. I feel like things are okay. Because last year, it being a first year garden, of course, it wasn't gonna do good on that second half. The first half, you know, like I said, we got a lot of tomatoes and things. We just had some weather that interfered. I think if I could have been out and tended to it like it needed to be, and we didn't have the Rona, we would have really had some major production, because I did get at least 50 to 60 pounds of tomatoes early on. So they just didn't have time to complete their growing cycle. But anyway, as you can see, the Clucker Cottage, all the ladies are out there. They're wanting more treats. They're so spoiled. I bought myself some of the Premier One hen pen fencing to contain them in. Of course, they figured out how to get out sometimes. And they have their chicken garden over there where Roxy's sitting. And they demolished it. It's their garden, it's okay. I've already started replanting some cauliflower and bok choy. And then in their beds around the side of the Clucker's Cottage, they have lettuce. So, and out in my garden is tender greens, and then in the front of the house is mustard greens and different things. So they get plenty of treats. They're fat, they're happy, they lay like no tomorrow. I have 12 birds and I get 11 eggs every day. Somebody's a slacker. Somebody's a slacker. But anyway, so that's what all's been going on around here. And I just wanted to let you know about the soil and what I was doing, and also how I was laying out the gardens this year. If you get a chance to invest in drip irrigation, that is definitely the way to go. The landscaping fabric helps tremendously. We have this crazy grass, I think it's called Johnson grass. It grows through even that heavy fabric. Just not as bad. I mean, you know, weeds were my life, and now it's not nearly as bad. So those things from HOSS I definitely recommend. I have a link, I'll put it down in the description, where you can click on there, and then I'll get credit for that. If you order seeds, garden tools, the drip irrigation. Now, they don't carry the landscaping fabric. I got mine on Amazon, I believe. It's the DeWitt, and I got the 3x300. I mean, they have bigger rolls, but I'm old and trying to handle all that by myself. 3 foot by 300 foot was plenty for me to be pulling on and not overdoing. So it can be done, and it is wonderful to do things that way. And that was what I spent my portion of the $600 stimulus on. I spent mine expanding my irrigation. I already had it in the front half of the garden from last year, and I bought the rest this year. I bought extra so that I could do it over here at the chicken garden too, and anywhere else, flower beds or whatever that I wanted to do. I planted fruit trees this year, so now I have a total of 34, and so I want to run drip irrigation to those too, because here in southeast Mississippi, zone 8A, it gets extremely dry by July, August, September. You know, things are having to be watered a whole lot, so drip irrigation is definitely the way to go. Anyway, I hope you learned something. Enjoy your day. Happy gardening. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe button.